à tous. Merci pour l'opportunité de participer à cet événement aujourd'hui. Pour ceux d'entre vous qui ne me connaissent pas, je m'appelle Julie Selman. Je suis basée à Londres, mais je suis hollandaise. Et je ne vais pas tout présenter en français aujourd'hui, je le ferai en anglais, c'est mieux. Alors, so let's start the presentation. I believe the last time we were seeing clients and attending events in Paris was in February 2020. And I really wanted to be there today, but unfortunately, it was not possible with the new travel restrictions. At the time, our company was called Rubicon Project, and I was not even working at the company yet. And a lot has changed since then. And most notably, we are now called Magnite. We are the result of a merger with Teleria in 2020, then the acquisition of SpotX this year, and we also bought an ad server called SpringServe over the summer. And we are now the world's largest independent sell-side ad platform. And what we do is really bring buyers and sellers a true omni-channel offering. And by combining our platforms, we have the greatest global supply access across all formats and channels, anything that can be bought programmatically, display, audio, digital out of home, and of course, CTV, and which is what we'll talk about today. As long as I've been in the industry, which is a fair amount of time, the holy grail for advertisers really has always been to deliver the right message to the right audience with proper reach and frequency controls across multiple formats like television, desktop, display, mobile video. And this is really what makes marketing budgets the most impactful and the most efficient. And cross-format publishers have always sought to provide such a solution to their advertisers. And this is really what we're trying to do at Magnite as well. And when I look back, when I first started in my career in 2004, when media was really traded still on the phone and via email with insertion orders, really in silos, print, digital, TV, radio was all very separate. And looking at the situation where we are now, we've come such a long way. It's really phenomenal what's happened over the last 15 years. Largely, most media is, especially display, is traded programmatically, it's fully automated, it's data enabled. And you can sort of buy and sell your media through DSPs and SSPs like Magnite. And even though we've made these massive strides in some channels and formats, funnily enough, TV, which is a massive marketing channel, hugely important, especially for those well-known large brands, has really been slower to catch on. When it comes to automating the way it's traded and also the way it's measured for impact, and especially if you compare it to the digital world and all the amazing opportunities that we now have available to us. However, it's not all bad news. Looking at the size of the TV market and the fact we're now seeing these sort of changes, not only in digital but in TV, it's very encouraging. We see massive changes in the TV ecosystem in the last 5 years, and the rise of these connected TV, CTV, in the sense of smart TV hardware, but also in the sense of the consumption of how we watch TV on internet connected TVs, video on demand, subscription TV, etc., has changed massively and has opened up new and fantastic opportunities. Today, we'll talk about these opportunities on CTV and how we are changing as people, how we watch TV, but also this is an advertising conference. So most importantly, what does it mean for marketers and publishers alike? So to look at the CTV ecosystem, kind of globally speaking, we're seeing a huge amount of growth, especially on a consumer level in the US, but also in Asia and parts of Europe. And we've obviously seen a huge rise also in subscription services like Netflix and Disney+, but ad-supported CTV is increasingly popular. Some numbers, the worldwide TV time spent watching CTV is up 100% year on year and making up 43% of total TV viewing time. And linear or traditional viewing has really declined by 16%, which is an interesting stat, I think, to see. And in the US, 86% of US households are now reachable by programmatic connected TV, which is really an amazing opportunity. And it's very thriving and happening there already, whereas Europe is definitely at a different stage to the US. It's going through the same phases of development, but we're a little bit behind. And taking it globally again, we're seeing that marketers meet consumer eyeballs as well. So the marketers are definitely catching on the opportunity, with an increase of 50% in connected TV ad spend year on year, which is very encouraging as well. Looking at France, though, it's a little bit different. France is definitely a very unique market. You probably know, some of you in the audience, better than I do. And there's a number of factors. In terms of digital ad spend, France is a very healthy growing market, forecast to be worth 7.8 billion euros this year. And it's also forecast for the first time in history to eclipse traditional media spend, which has decreased actually during the pandemic by almost 20%. Compared to the European market, though, France is very unique and way ahead of the game. The idea of an internet-connected TV is something that's happening for years in France, thanks to the large telcos and the combined offerings of TV, internet, and phone packages, which are hugely popular in French homes. And we see 2/3 of the population are already using this sort of IPTV packages. So looking at the French market, if you look at the dominance of IPTV, we still see that even though this is already very popular, the ecosystem in France is also evolving. It's a really exciting period of evolution in the French market, and it presents an incredible opportunity for new growth of connected TVs in the market. There's an evolution happening on terms of consumer behavior brought on by device manufacturers, but also in terms of content, local and global CTV offerings. Legislation has changed, which has an enormous impact as well. And businesses are really looking towards a digital programmatic first future. So to go into a bit more detail in terms of diversification, IPTV, we said, is a unique strength in the French market, but we're seeing diversification also in terms of other opportunities. And this chart really shows the device penetration in French streaming households. And although IPTV has the strongest penetration of 81%, you can see smart TVs and gaming consoles and CTV dongles are showing impressive numbers and growth. And smart TVs and CTV dongles like Chromecast and Fire Sticks have seen the fastest growth year on year. We also see a diversification, not just in terms of devices, but across content too. Consumers really want more choice, and there's new content available, which again, the sort of exchange for ads is very popular. So there's local services like Molotov. They have local content offering. They were recently acquired by Fubo, which really demonstrates the intent and the opportunity in the European market. And I think this really shows that there's increasingly a subset of audiences that you won't be able to reach via IPTV or traditional TV. And that really pushes the case for this holistic media buying strategy across all the different forms of media. And it's not just across channels, but it's even within the umbrella of CTV or TV. And another huge part of this evolution is the change in legislation in France. Last year in August, the French government changed laws around one-to-one targeted advertising that were instated back in the 90s. And this really was a watershed moment, because this really finally allowed for addressable TV. And telcos are already taking opportunity there. They're doing deals with broadcasters, and segmented or targeted advertising really allows those large advertisers to complete TV strategies, but also gives an opportunity to smaller advertisers and to enter the world of digital. Another great thing about this, it levels the playing field across IPTV and connected TV, and it's really a sort of step towards combining the regulation, the consumer behavior, and the commercial models, and they can start working together to grow this field. It also opens up the potential for TV media buying to be programmatically transacted. And broadcasters and telcos alike want to evolve their businesses in accordance, especially to these requirements of brands and agencies who are looking to do this. Like I said initially, this is the holy grail, to transact digitally across all channels. And addressable ads are very efficient and effective. We really start to see why this conflation of the big screen TV experience with the precision of digital targeting is why everyone is getting really excited about CTV. And we did some research on sort of user behavior and user willingness around ads on TV and targeting. And our research found that CTV viewers are actually willing to share information to receive targeted ads, obviously within GDPR rules, but viewers realize that if they have to watch ads anyway, they might as well be worth their time. So people prefer to see a relevant ad that speaks to them rather than an ad for a product that's not relevant. And targeted ads get attention. 42% of CTV viewers will pay more attention to targeted ads than traditional TV viewers. And these viewers are also more inclined to take action when they watch an ad with a higher propensity to purchase a product or a service. The influx of new fast and OTT services is therefore no coincidence. There's absolutely an appetite for consumers. And as we said, there's a huge appetite for content, original content, diverse content, and there's this subscription fatigue. So ad-supported streaming services are growing at a faster rate, and their share of viewing is now becoming really close to SVOD, which is super exciting. And it cannot be stressed enough that people really want a lot of choice. They want to watch what they want to watch, when they want to watch it, and they want to have a lot of choice to choose from. So I wanted to show a really brief case study in terms of what this can mean from a marketer's point of view. We did a campaign for a brand called Under Armour. It's a sports brand, and it really shows the power and necessity of the CTV channel as a marketing channel in addition to traditional TV and other channels. And the brand wanted to reach this sort of focused performer audience through connected TV devices. So we created a bespoke marketplace, which allowed the brand to access multiple premium CTV publishers through one access point. And then we used our metric solution to measure the results, and we got some really useful audience insights. So we could report on audiences to see if they were reached only by the CTV campaign and not by the corresponding linear TV activity, and then produce a report which showed the incremental reach, which was really interesting. The results showed that out of the 1.4 million CTV impressions we delivered, 100,000 plus were actually incremental in-target households that were reached. And additionally, 32% of total users were digital-only viewers. So you couldn't even reach those across linear TV. And these type of results are really encouraging because it shows that CTV is a viable and valuable marketing channel. And we should really be using this in addition to other marketing channels to get closer to that holy grail of advertisers I mentioned at the beginning. And I think in conclusion, what we can take away is that in France, even though the market was already much ahead of the world in terms of having internet-connected TVs, we're seeing an evolution in consumer behavior brought on by the device manufacturers and the local and global content. And also we see the change in legislation that now allows advertisers to target more precisely. And that then combined with the need and the diversification will really help accelerate the TV ecosystem towards a digital programmatic first future. I think it's really exciting. It's exciting for us. It's exciting for marketers, for publishers, broadcasters. I hope this was a useful little presentation. And merci beaucoup et la prochaine fois.